what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. This week, we're talking about how to remove a cassette off your wheel and reinstall a new one. But before we get into today's video, if you're new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that little bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content we got on this channel. So let's get right on into the video. We're talking about cassettes today and how to remove them and how to install a brand new one. So first off, I've made videos about how to tell if you have a cassette or a freewheel. If you have a cassette, you're going to have a nice lock ring on the outside of here, which is pretty much how you're going to remove that. You're going to remove that lock ring in order to take the cassette off of there. If you have a freewheel, it's a different story. There's generally no lock ring on the end and just a hole on the end of that, which accepts a different tool to remove your freewheel. But we're not talking about freewheels. We're talking about cassettes today. So let's get right on into this. First thing I'll talk about is what tools you're going to need to get this job done. First thing you're going to need a cassette removal tool, just like this guy here. Essentially has grooves around that fit into that cassette lock ring to take it off. It's going to be the same thing if you have center lock disc rotors. It's going to be the same tool you use for those. You're going to need that, and of course you're going to need a big adjustable wrench if you just have the little standalone piece. They do make these all together with the handle. You can get those as well. But if you get the little small one like this, you can put it on a regular wrench, no problem at all. With that, you're also going to need a good old chain whip, and this is not the kind of chain whip you think you're talking about. This is a chain whip in order to hold the cassette in place. That way you can get the lock ring off. You try and loosen it with just these pliers, and this tool is just going to spin because you're pushing that the way that it freewheels. So this is going to spin around. This is to keep that in place and not let it spin around. So let's go ahead, let's get right on down to the wheel and start talking about what you need to do in order to get that cassette off. So we got our cassette right here, we got our wheel all taken off the bike. So of course you're going to take it off the bike first. Gonna go ahead and take off quickly the skewer if you got one. If you got a bolt-on axle, same deal. You just take off the nuts on the end. And we'll go ahead and take this guy off of here. Don't lose the springs that are inside of here because that will make your day horrible. Or lose an end cap like I almost just did. I like to stick everything back onto the skewer, that way you don't lose anything while I'm working on it. There we go. And from there, you might be able to see that this little lock ring here has some grooves in it. So you might be able to see that this lock ring here right on the top, this little black piece, has little teeth in there. And those teeth will match up to your tool just right there. So what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and slide your tool in there, make sure those teeth interlock, and as you can tell, that is nice and locked in there. Now, like I said, if we were going to try to loosen this, it would just spin the whole cassette. So that's where the chain whip comes in. So the chain whip you're generally going to put in one of your larger gears. Why is that? It gets you a little more leverage first. Second of all, when you're in a higher gear and you're away from the cassette, you're less likely to bash your knuckles into that cassette and cause some bleeding and cause some pain and crying and stuff we don't really want to hear much of. So stay away from that. Don't put it on the highest gear though, because if that slips off, you're going to go into your spokes. Next thing you want to do, put your wrench right onto your tool right there, just like so, and you're just going to push these guys apart from each other. Oh my gosh. And it may take a little bit of force. There it goes. And that will happen right there. It will come right off. Just like so. And some are going to be tighter than others. Just depends who installed that guy and if they use grease or what they used. But we'll just go ahead and spin that guy right off. And once it's off, you got your lock ring all set off of there. And lucky for me, I greased this. That's why it came off at least semi-easily. So we'll go ahead and pull that off. And when you pull this off here, generally you're going to have a couple gears. So you have your lock ring, of course. Then you're going to have a couple gears here that are just going to be loose on the end, like these two. These are actually just separate gears, so you're going to make sure you don't lose those. And then the rest of your cassette should be just one single piece, just like that. So that is how you go ahead and remove a cassette. So I'm, of course, not going to replace this cassette with anything new because this one works perfectly fine. I just need to show you guys how to remove it, of course. So when you look at this, you'll actually notice there are some grooves in the middle of their other grooves. Lots of grooves on this thing. So you notice one of those grooves is going to be smaller. In this case, it's right there as a smaller groove. Kind of hard to tell, but when you're in person, you can tell one of these grooves is smaller. And on the freeheld body here, you'll notice one of the grooves is smaller than the rest. So you're going to go ahead, when you install your new cassette, you're going to install the full body first, and you're going to line up that little groove with the little groove, and it just slides right on. And then same thing with your smaller gears that aren't attached. They're going to have that same thing. They have a nice small groove there. They also have an arrow you can line up too, but I generally use a small groove because it's not given every time that there's going to be that nice little arrow there. So I'll line that guy up, and let's see, there's a little groove on this one, and I'll line that guy up too, just like that. And of course, if you're installing one of these yourself, put a little bit of grease on the threads on your lock ring, and we're just going to go ahead, pop that right back in. We're going to hand tighten this guy all the way till it's nice and tight like that. And generally there's like a torque reading on these, so let's see what they say on this here. Torque 2, 40 Newton meters. I give it enough ugga-duggas that I feel like it's tight. So with this, you're gonna grab your wrench again. You don't need your chain whip anymore. The chain whip was just for removal. And we're gonna get our wrench on there nice and tight, and we're just gonna tighten that so we feel like it's pretty good. Yeah, like that feels pretty good. So a couple clicks there, and you are set to go. You got a brand new cassette on your wheel, ready to keep on riding. So that is how you go ahead and get a brand new cassette installed on your wheel. Hopefully that helped you. If it did, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. Love answering any questions you guys have. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching today.